Raider Nation, what's going on? You guys are watching the Raiders Report, and I'm not at the usual studio at Chat Sports, but I had to go ahead and give you guys some breaking news. The Las Vegas Raiders, they have gone ahead and released wide receiver Henry Ruggs. Not too surprising with everything that happened today around Ruggs. He was charged with the DUI, who obviously this woman, she was killed in a car accident, and it's a very sad situation from top to bottom. When you talk about Ruggs, he was drafted number 12 overall by the Las Vegas Raiders back in 2020. He struggled as a rookie with only 426 receiving yards. This season, he's been the main threat for this team in terms of overall production. I mean, you're talking about a kid who's got 24 catches, 469 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was the leading receiver on this team. He brought a lot of speed to the offense and really opened up what this team was able to do. So what I want you guys to do right now is go down in the comments and give me a one-word reaction to Ruggs being released by the Las Vegas Raiders. My one-word reaction to all this is expected. And when you really saw everything that came in today from all the reports coming in of the Raiders and Henry Ruggs, and at 3:40 a.m., Ruggs was involved in an automobile accident where another car was caught on fire. There was another report that ended up coming out where Ruggs was going in the middle of a highway, of a 3-lane highway, tried to swerve off the road, ending up hitting up the other car. I mean, just the multitude of stories just that came in today were just heartbreaking. And I would say I've covered the Raiders since 2018 here at Chat Sports, and I would go ahead and say that today was the most emotional that I have ever been. The fact that a 23-year-old woman lost her life is absolutely heartbreaking to me. Yes, Ruggs and his girlfriend were both in the vehicle as well. I think it just ultimately comes down to, if you guys are going to go out and you're going to drink, you're going to drive, don't do that. Call an Uber, call a Lyft. We need to be able to figure out some way that stuff like this can just not happen anymore. Now, I am going to be going and making a video tomorrow at Chat Sports, so everyone keep that in mind. At the end of the day, I really wanted to be able to come on here and do a video for you guys because I take a lot of pride in what we have here at the show. I take a lot of pride in Raider Nation. I think it's the best fan base in all of sports. So I always tell people, make sure you subscribe, make sure you turn on those notifications. That way, you never miss a thing. And I don't care if I can't get a producer to come into the studio. I'm going to be making you guys a video because that's how much that this means to me. Now, with the news here circulating around Ruggs, what's going to be interesting is what exactly is Las Vegas going to do at the wide receiver position, because I get that all this news around Ruggs being released, it's going to hurt a lot of people's feelings, but the Raiders, Mike Mayock, Rich Bisaccia, the entire team in general, they still have a job that needs to be done. And just like I'm going to have to go to work tomorrow, just like you guys are going to have to go to work tomorrow, maybe you're a student, you're going to have to go to school, the life, it does go on, and you need to be able to continue to build a football team, because whether you like it or not, whether you're a fan of the situation or not, the Raiders released Henry Ruggs. The Raiders are 5-2 in the AFC West. You're the number 2 seed if the playoffs were to start today. So you need to be able to continue to build what the Raiders have already been able to build right now. I mean, you want to talk about drama. And I know when John Gruden left this team earlier, and I said, I don't know if Rich Bisaccia is going to be the guy that ends up having this job at the end of the year. If, with all the stuff that's gone on this season, if the Raiders end up making the playoffs, I almost think you have to keep Rich Bisaccia because of all the crap that's been going on. So here's the question that I want to hit you guys with. Do you still think that the Las Vegas Raiders are going to be going to the playoffs when it's all said and done? You're 5-2 right now. The Chargers are 4-3. The Chiefs are 4-4. The Broncos are 4-4. So please go down in the comments right now, and I want you to type playoffs if you're thinking that this Raiders team is still going to be in the playoffs. Believe me, I'll be looking down in the comments. I always say this show isn't about me. It's 100% about Raider Nation. We have a unbelievably amazing fan base, and I want you guys to let me know, playoffs or no playoffs. Now, if the Raiders do want to go out and actually make the playoffs, because I do still think that there's a chance. I still think that this team has the ability to be able to go out and do it. But what do? Do you try to replace Henry Ruggs? I mean, there's not an NFL player out there right now that has 4.2 speed that really took the next step up that also understands our offense. So let's get that clear right now. But the Raiders only have Bryan Edwards at receiver, Hunter Renfrow, and then Zay Jones. I could definitely see the Raiders giving Zay Jones that extra opportunity, which I think when Zay's been on the field this year, he actually has looked pretty darn good. Now, the other side of this, could you promote somebody from the practice squad? You have Javon Wims, you have Dylan Stoner, you have DJ Turner. I was really impressed by the UDFA DJ Turner this preseason in terms of his special teams ability. I also know Rich Bisaccia, who was the special teams coordinator, also has some belief in DJ Turner. Maybe he can come up, get a few extra snaps. Dylan Stoner's probably the best all-around wide receiver on that practice squad. But here's the other aspect of it. You can't go out and trade for anyone. The NFL trade deadline came and went. So Allen Robinson, OBJ, Brandon Cooks, all those big-name receivers, take them, get rid of them, because you can't go out and get them now. The most appealing name to me, though, it is Deshaun Jackson. So Deshaun Jackson, him and the Los Angeles Rams, they have split up for the short time being, and he's going to hit the waiver wire, which basically means if anybody out there plays fantasy football, you're going to have to put in a pick for him on Wednesday. We'll be able to figure out whether or not he's going to be repping that silver and black probably come Thursday or whatever. And guess what? If the Raiders make a move at receiver, if they don't make a move at receiver, then we're going to have to figure out what that's going to mean. Now, the two receivers that I honestly think make the most sense in terms of you're going to want to go out and find somebody at the wide receiver position in the free agency pool, John Brown. John Brown's the top guy. The Raiders signed him this offseason. He asked to be released to the free agency pool because he wasn't getting the time on the field, much due to a guy like Henry Ruggs. You could also pick up the phone and call Willie Snead. Sure, Willie Snead hasn't done a lot this season. He had 9 targets, 3 catches for the Raiders, 2 pretty bad drops if we're being real. Right now, he's sitting on the Carolina Panthers practice squad. Now, let's just say the Raiders don't plan on making any moves. I put this idea out there on Twitter, and remember, if anybody watches this video and you want to talk to me a little bit more, you can do it on Instagram, you can do it on Twitter, at Mitchell Renz 365. In fact, I'm going to be voting on the new Chucky head. We're getting rid of the Chucky head. We're trying to figure out what the next thing is going to be, and I've put polls on Instagram. I've put polls on Twitter. I've put polls on our YouTube community. I'm going to let you guys, I'm going to decide it myself as well. We got the whole community here figuring out what the next Chucky head's going to be. But what I was about to say was the other option is this. What if we put Darren Waller at wide receiver? Again, he's not a receiver, he's a tight end. But if you're really trying to replace Ruggs, I have a lot of confidence in Waller's ability to know the offense and being an athletic freak of nature. And then you give Foster Moreau a little bit more run at tight end. Foster did a hell of a job, I thought, in Week 7. He had 6 targets, 6 catches, 60 yards, and a touchdown. I was very impressed for what he was able to bring to the table. Now, again, you're not going to be able to replace Henry Ruggs, but if you are trying to find a short-term option because your next step is going up against the New York Giants, and you can say what you want, I've been very impressed by the Giants' defense the last 2 weeks. So maybe you rock and roll with Bryan Edwards, third and Renfrow, give Zay Jones a few snaps, get Darren Waller out there, who also missed Week 7 with an ankle injury, and then you go ahead and get Foster Moreau some extra reps. The offensive line really needs to step up. Andre James, I'm looking at you. Alex Leatherwood, John Simpson, Colton Miller, Brandon Parker. We need the offensive line to rally around now, and so that way it opens up holes for Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake. This is going to have to be a total team effort. But the reason why, guys, I am giving you this video, the reason why that we're breaking down this news here is because the Las Vegas Raiders, they have released second-year wide receiver Henry Ruggs after all the news that has come out today about his fatal car crash. For those of you that maybe live underneath a rock, for those of you that didn't watch my 3-hour live show that I essentially did today on the Raiders Report, and anytime that there's breaking news, we go live for it, especially with this stuff. Usually I'm the cheerful guy that likes talking about, all the cool moves the Raiders are going to make or this and that, the fun watch parties that we're going to be able to do. I'm going to be live also on Sunday, 15 minutes before kickoff. I didn't do my usual live that I usually do on every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. But at the end of the day, you will not find another Raiders channel that keeps you as up to date as what this channel is going to do here. And even though it's 11:53 World Series game just ended. Shout out to the Braves. I was watching that, took my dog Chuck out, and I left my phone upstairs for, man, just 20 minutes, and I came back up, and I was like, holy crap. The Raiders, they did it. They released Ruggs. We'll continue to be able to keep you guys up to date with the more information that I get, but the fact that Ruggs is no longer a member of the Raiders, and I saw a lot of people, they're like, oh, wait until the evidence comes out. Wait until the evidence comes out. It's a bad look, and it's a bad look no matter how you look at it, because a young woman who was 23 years old lost her life. And if you guys haven't read the story, if you haven't read some of these threads going on, she essentially was trapped in her vehicle, and the paramedics couldn't get to her in time. And I don't have a daughter. I don't have that situation, but I have lost somebody very close to me to a vehicle accident, and drunk driving might have been involved. I don't know all the details to it, but this is a very upsetting time, and I just wish that everyone out there, you make the right decisions, you start doing the right thing. So please, I'm going to be preaching the entire week. Please go ahead and download the Lyft, the Uber app, whatever it potentially takes. We got to be able to stop this kind of stuff, because it has nothing to do really with, a player, he's got all this money in the world, why can't he get an Uber? Sometimes it just simply comes down to people just not thinking for a split second. I do not think that Henry Ruggs is a bad man. I don't think he's a bad dude whatsoever. I do feel for his girlfriend, who now is going to have to deal with a lot of this stuff. I feel bad for Henry's daughter, and I don't like bringing up a lot of that stuff. But at the end of the day, I get Las Vegas is a monster in itself, where you have these young kids, they're making millions of dollars, and I mean millions upon millions of dollars, and now they're thrown in this situation. We just got to be smarter as human beings. We got to start acting our age a little bit here and just call an Uber, call a Lyft. That way we don't have to talk about this, and we can celebrate the great year that the Raiders were having, because you're sitting here. Tuesday was supposed to be the Raiders' day off, and I get that. Go out and have a good time, but call an Uber. There's pictures of Ruggs at Top Golf in Las Vegas. I've been there. It's an amazing place, but to be driving at 3:40 in the morning when you're, intoxicated is never a good sign. Now, Ruggs did hire one of the best defense attorneys that there is in Las Vegas. I've actually had a few people that live there hit me up about him and say, hey, this isn't over yet. But I do think the fact that the Raiders did release Ruggs was just kind of like, all right, this is their statement saying that they're not going to go ahead and support a player that was put into this situation. And at the end of the day, they're just going to wipe their hands clean with it and move on. If anything else happens, I promise you we'll make a video here, and we're going to give you guys the updates that you'll need. I want everyone to enjoy the rest of their night, or some of you enjoy their morning. Raider Nation, I love you to the end of the world and back, and I'm going to do whatever I can to give you guys the news and rumors. So please, before I go, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you never miss a thing. And one more time, the Las Vegas Raiders have released Henry Ruggs. Tomorrow's video is probably going to be some Henry Ruggs replacement, so be on the lookout.